This isn't my opinion, this is what neuroscience shows. Thank you so much for deciding to hang out with me today. I'm really excited to talk about this because it really fascinates me. Let's talk about prefrontal cortex. It's a part of your brain right behind your forehead, right? Called prefrontal cortex. It's basically the part that talks, not out loud, but inside. It's the thing that comments on stuff, explains things, asks questions, tells stories, uses words. That's it. You're asking, is that mine inner voice? Yeah, that's it. When you hear yourself speaking without opening your mouth, your brain is just activating the same language circuits without sending the signal to your mouth. So it feels like a voice because it is a voice, just not spoken. How does it create a thought? Very mundane. Something happens first. Your body feels heavy or light or tense or calm. It happens milliseconds before a thought appears, and you would swear that this exact thought made you feel so strange or so weird or so happy. But the feeling actually happened milliseconds before the thought, so it's not from the thought. So once the body feels heavy, light, or tense or calm, the brain goes, okay, what's this about? And it starts talking about it. If your body feels heavy, it might say, what's the point of all of this? I'm never going to see hope in my future. I'm going to be lonely forever. I missed out on everything. My life is never going to turn out. I am a failure. Any dark thought, any negative thought you can imagine. It's up to you what thought you imagine, okay? If your body feels calm, once again, it's up to you to imagine any thought. It can be as simple as, this is fine, I can handle this, whatever. Same brain, different states. So let's talk about philosophy, overthinking, deep questions. Same mechanism. When you're thinking about life, meaning, existence, what am I doing with my life? It's still the same thing. Your brain feels some kind of unease or curiosity, and the talking part starts looking for big explanations. It's not wisdom appearing. It's not truth appearing. It's just the brain trying to make sense of a feeling using words. So dogs don't do this actually. A dog doesn't sit there thinking, what does this mean about my existence? Not because dogs are dumb, but because their brain is built differently. Dogs feel hunger, feel fear, feel comfort, and then they act. No inner commentary, no narration, no philosophy. They experience life directly. Humans added narration, not intelligence. Humans didn't just evolve to feel. We evolved to explain, predict, simulate, talk about what's happening. That's powerful but noisy. A dog feels sad, he rests. A human feels sad, explains sadness for 3 hours. Important part, the prefrontal cortex is not you. It's not a little person inside your head. It's more like a commentator, a reporter, a narrator. It describes what's happening. Something is useful, something is wrong, sometimes it won't shut up, but it's just doing its job. Even sometimes it can deceive you, of course, but it's biology. So why it feels so personal? Because it uses your language, uses the word I, references your life, so it sounds like you. The prefrontal cortex is the part of the brain that talks about life, not the part that lives it. Dogs live it, humans live it, and comment on it. Neither is dumb, just different. I made a video called Prove You're Not in Charge of Your Thoughts, but consider this as part 2. If you were in charge of your thoughts, you would know what your next thought will be. Pause for half a second. You don't. The next thought just shows up. That alone already tells you something important. Thoughts appear, they don't get assembled manually. What's actually happening instead? There's a talking part of the brain, the prefrontal cortex. It does one very normal thing. It comments, it explains, it reacts with words. That's it. It's like a commentator watching what's happening inside your body and mind. Why thoughts feel like you? Because the commentary uses your language, uses I. Sounds like your voice, so it feels offered. But here's the giveaway. You don't hear the thought being prepared. You only hear the finished sentence. That means you didn't build it, you received it. The strongest everyday proof. Try this. Don't think of a pink elephant. What happened? The thought appeared before you could stop it. That's mechanics. The brain heard a signal, produced a thought. No permission asked. Another proof, intrusive or random thoughts. Sometimes your brain throws out something dark, something stupid, something philosophical, something emotional, and you go, why did I even think that? Exactly. If you were in charge, that wouldn't happen. Why do you feel like you can think about anything? That part confuses people. You can say, I'll think about my childhood. And you do. But here's what you actually did. You picked a topic, not these sentences. Your brain then starts pulling memories and words on its own. Just like you search something on Google, Google chooses the results. You choose the search, not the answers. Dogs make this obvious. A dog doesn't sit there thinking, why am I sad? The dog feels sad, lies down. No inner debate, no meaning making. Not because dogs are dumb, but because their talking system is smaller. Humans added narration, not control. The simplest way to say the proof. Thoughts appear. If they appear, they weren't chosen. That's it. You're not a voice in your head. You're the whole system, body, nervous system, emotions, brain. The prefrontal cortex is just the part that talks about it. When you hear thoughts talking, it isn't your consciousness talking. Consciousness doesn't talk, it doesn't use words, it doesn't argue, it doesn't narrate. What does talk is a specific brain function, the prefrontal cortex. That's the difference people miss. What consciousness actually feels like. Consciousness is the part that notices sounds, notices colors, notices pain, notices thoughts. It's the awareness of things happening. It's you. It doesn't comment, it doesn't explain, it doesn't say I, it just notices. What the prefrontal cortex does instead. The prefrontal cortex puts words on things, explains sensations, tells stories, asks why, creates inner dialogue. It's like a commentator, not the experiencer. That's why thoughts feel inside consciousness, but they're not made by consciousness. Why this is confusing? Because thoughts happen inside awareness. So people assume if I'm aware of the thought, I must be the one creating it. But that's like saying if I see a cloud, I must be generating the weather. Or you're just noticing it. If thoughts were consciousness, you decide each one. You'd know the next one. You could stop them instantly, but you can't. They appear. Which tells you consciousness, observer, thoughts, output, different things. Dogs clearly have consciousness. They feel, they notice, they respond. But they don't sit around asking, what does this mean about my life? Not because they're dumb, but because their commentary system is smaller. They experience life without narrating it. Humans experience life and talk about it. Your thoughts aren't your consciousness. There's something your brain is doing inside consciousness. Consciousness notices, the brain comments. Once people see this, one thing becomes obvious. Thoughts don't have authority just because they speak in your voice. They're reports, something useful, sometimes wrong, sometimes just noise. That voice in your head isn't consciousness. It's the brain explaining what's happening. Thank you so much for your precious time. This isn't my opinion. This is what neuroscience shows. Thank you so much for your precious time. Especially take care. Feel free to hang out with me even more and explore our feelings, thoughts, and emotions, but absolutely no pressure. Take care, and I can't wait to catch you soon.